What's going on?
What's
What's
good?
up?
What's good? What's good, man? Welcome to another episode of the Football Frame of Mind podcast, man. I'm your host, Cam. That's the host, Brandon. Euro step, right? But welcome to another episode, man. It's Sunday. You know what that means, man. So before we get started, man, you know the drill. Our socials at the bottom, man. Give us a like, follow, subscription, man. And Brandon, bring us in, man. What we talking about today?
Man, we are going to be continuing this awesome series we've already started. If you guys haven't been paying attention, you've been under a rock. We've been covering college football. We're doing conference breakdowns, all the major Power 5 conferences. So we've already done the SEC. We've done the Big 10. We most recently did the ACC. Now we're moving into a conference with a lot of question marks, but a really cool upstart conference. Pretty much a complete rebuild over. It's going to be the Big 12, man. Got a lot of new teams coming in. A lot of established teams coming in. We're looking to see who's going to take that next step and become that perennial powerhouse in an overall new conference.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun, man. The Big 12 is one of those conferences, man, that over the course of time has taken a lot of hits, a lot of flack and everything as far as not being the top conference or whatever. But I think the pieces that they have in place have definitely helped out a lot. Uh, we'll speak on a lot of them, but the addition of Arizona to that conference, man, I think is one of the best parts of that. Simply because, like I said, it's just an extension of the Big 12 schools. I mean, the original Big 12 schools was all in the region, and then, conference realignment. But if you look at the original Big 12 schools, Arizona fits right in. It's right next door to Texas. So it's not like it's that far travel. We're not talking going to West Virginia, which I mean is a very, very big travel consideration. But I still think that's a really cool and interesting part of this conference. Also, uh, Colorado comes back to the Big 12. I mean, that's really important as well. So it's really cool, man. Like I said, I think there's a lot to be said about this conference, man. But man, he's frozen. Hey, Brandon, you still there? Oh man, he frozen. He frozen, man. He'll come back though. He'll come back, man. But yeah, we're talking about the Big 12 today, man. This conference has had a few national champions. Also, there's been a few um, dynasties in this conference as well, man. You remember Nebraska, the 70s. I think Texas was pretty good. Was Texas really good in the 80s? If you're in the comment box, man, let me know. But let's see, man. But Brandon's having some technical difficulties, man. But at the same time, man, uh-oh. Let's see what's up with Brandon. Hopefully he comes back soon, man. But with the Big 12 is one of my favorite conferences growing up, man. I mean, think about uh Bish Young, was really a big part of that. Um, Ricky Williams at Texas as well. Um, you got Colorado back in the day. I want to say, what's his name? Rashad Salam winning the Heisman at Colorado. Absolutely, he was a beast. Um, you got Nebraska and all of their players, man. Nebraska was crazy back in the day, man. I mean, you got Grant Wistrom, you got Roger Craig, Tommy Frazier, like um, then you got Oklahoma with all of their guys, bruh. Absolutely crazy, man. But I mean, those are just some schools I like, man. But we definitely gonna have a good show today, man. Um, we're gonna see what's up with Brandon and his Wi-Fi, man. But we'll see. But nonetheless, man, I'm really excited about what is to come with the Big 12, man. I think I want to say Arizona State's in there too. Are they in there? If they in there, I really messed up. Really want to say they in there too. Yeah, we can look that up, man. Look that up, man. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break, real quick, man, and we're gonna see what's up, man. Oh, he came back. He came back. Never mind. False alarm. False alarm. False alarm, man. False alarm, man. Let's see what's up. Let's see if he coming back, man. Yeah, this technology is crazy, man. Crazy as hell. But nah, man, the Big 12 is gonna be really fun, man. Really fun conference, man. You got some really crazy teams in here, man. And really it's up for grabs, man. You know, I like Matt Campbell. We'll get into Iowa State. You know, we'll get into Kansas State. They have some really big pickups, man. So and then we get into the OG of the conference, man. Oklahoma State. I think they got a lot to consider this season, man. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let them get that thing together, man. But like I said, we're gonna run a little quick commercial break, man. Let's get him back, you know. Definitely run it. This is crazy. Anyway, commercial break, y'all. We'll be right back.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs.
Yeah, man. So let's get into this breakdown. Wow, Brandon's getting this thing together, man. So we're going to talk about some news first, man. Let's talk about some news, man. Let's get that news thing up there, man. All right, let's talk about some news, man. I think the biggest and most important news of the football season, college football season, is college football 25, man. I mean, it's available now for everybody, you know. So if you were struggling those days watching people play with early access, I think now is the time to get it, man. I think it's a very important game. I like it, man. My instant reaction at first when they were starting to announce it, I wasn't the biggest fan. I will definitely agree. It was not the most fun, you know. But here, man, dang, get out of here. Anyway, man. But I wasn't the biggest fan of it, man. I'll be honest with you. I thought that, you know, EA Sports was gonna, you know, muff the punt again, you know, like they do with Madden every year. feels like since 2004, honestly, 2005, whatever you want to call it, man. I really felt like they were going to do it, man. But you know what? The game is very, very enjoyable, man. Like, it's not something that you could play hours on end because it's not that deep yet. But I will say it's some things on there that are really, very enjoyable, man. I like the recruiting. It's very, very deep. That's the part that'll keep you playing for hours, if you ask me. You know, that's the part that'll keep you playing for hours, man. Then you got the um, what's the word I'm looking for? You got the overall presentation of the game. I think that's really, really fun. You know, that's more fun than anything, if you ask me. You know, but other than that, man, I do like I said, the presentation, the crowd noise is like legit. The stadium noise is legit. I like how they got the fans in there with, especially the team that I'm with right now, Florida State. Surprise you, I'm a Bama fan, but that's how the cookie crumbles at times. But I also like how the small good too. Like, I mean, I was with Utah State and I hadn't really paid attention to Utah State for a while. Like, it's been a long time since I played at Utah State. It's usually me beating the mess out of them, but had to take the job, right? As far as the dynasty is concerned, man. So, but even their presentation was pretty good, man. So if I had to give it a grade, man, I would definitely give college football 25, about an A minus, dog. A minus, man. And actually, you know what? I give it an A plus, man. Considering that it's been 11 years and you had all this time to really game plan the game, and obviously a lot has changed. But I would give it an A plus, man, because it's not perfect, but it's perfect for a person that hasn't played it in 11 years, man. Like, there's an entire generation that hasn't played this game, man, at all, you know. Um, so it's important, man, to just enjoy it, man. So uh, as we get Brandon back, hopefully. He back. He grown again. He gone again. He gone again. Let's see what he got going on, man. Let's see.
What's your login? Like when you install an app, what's your login?
All right, let's put him back in the green room, man. Let him get that thing together, man. But like I said, dog, football 25, man, was perfect, man. It's a perfect game for a person that hasn't played in a long time, man. It's really cool, man. Really cool game. I find myself playing it a lot more than I thought I would, honestly. But it's really cool, man. Like I said, the frostbite gene is like one of those things that you just don't like instantly. Didn't like it on Madden, at least not recently. At first, I thought it was really cool how they did it. But I like it. The pageantry, the uniforms, the helmet on the selection thing. I like it. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But I don't know. I don't know what's next with it. Um, let's see, man. What else do I like about this game, man? My little brother's been trying to get me onto the what's that? Ultimate Team? Yeah, he been trying to get me onto that. Now, me personally, I ain't really with it. I ain't really with it like that. It's not my thing. Cause I think it's like the, but hey, I ain't mad at it, man. It just takes a long time, man. It takes a long time, and that's pretty much it, man. It takes a long time to get your players, and it takes a long time to do all that extra stuff, man. So, but that's interesting, though. But like I said, man, like I said, college football 25, man. Like, if you watching this show right now, man, tell me what you think about it, man. Like, I personally enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it way more than people actually give you credit for it, man. But it's a cool game. Cool game. What you want, daughter? You trying to watch me on TV? Why you trying to watch me on TV? Go and log in on your phone so I can get the viewership. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. Nah, you don't want to do that. Anyway, man. But nah, man. Really cool game, man. But we could get into the show a little bit, man. Like I said, man, get Brandon back, and then we can get into some other stuff. But we talking about the Big 12 today, man. Let's get this out the way. Man. But we're talking about the Big 12 today. Big 12, like I said at the beginning, a conference that's had a lot of movement over the last few years. Kentucky, not Kentucky, the Cornhuskers leaving. Let's see if Brandon comes back. Let's see if he's back.
Thank God. Oh
All right.
my gosh.
All right, so we good now, right?
Yeah. I heard bits and pieces of what you were talking about while dealing with.
Hey, man, what are y'all doing, man? Hey, get up out of here. No, get up out of here. What are y'all doing? What are you doing?
Yes, he's fighting.
Dude.
There we go. That's a little bit better. Thank God.
All right. Nah, but you good now, man?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I ran into it wasn't just the Wi-Fi. I ran into some. You got to love technology. We're in 2024 and we're still having issues like what we have. And so.
Nah, I understand. I got the same thing going on here, man, with some children that want to see their dad do their show like they know what he talking about in the first place. So I like whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat, man. But I had talked about the Big 12 a little bit. Did an early commercial break, just waiting on you to come back, man.
I seen that.
And then talked about our news, man. But we can backtrack, man. Hey, shut up. Dang. All right. So let's talk about college football 25, man. I gave my take. I gave it an A+, man. It was way better than I thought. I also said that I wasn't a fan. I put that out there first. But I wanted to get your take on it, man, since you didn't get a chance to say it.
Yeah. So for anybody watching, I take full responsibility for him playing this game. Because he was not going to play this game at all. And we've been talking about this since last June of last year. So I will give me my flowers there. But, dude, I mean, I still haven't even had a really deep dive. But, like, in the time that I put in, mostly on the Road to Glory, minimal Dynasty, and some exhibition, the game's dope. The game is really good. The game, like, the flow of the game, like, and I heard you kind of talking about the Frostbite engine. It doesn't play like Madden at all, dude. The animations are awesome. Like, the ball placement is awesome. Like, the thresholds and stuff are really good, man. The presentation is chef's kiss. Like, it looks awesome. Like, there are bits and pieces when you're playing these games where you swear you got it on CBS. Like, it looks legit. It looks really good. I really like the quarterback mechanics and stuff. Like, it's really cool being able to drop a ball in between a couple of defenders when NCAA 14, you couldn't do that. Madden, you can't do that. So, I mean, dude, just from an immersion standpoint, an A+. The gameplay is like a B+ to an A. Like, it's really good. I like the fact that the only turnoff I will say that it's kind of just nitpicking. The only thing I will say is that it wasn't completely ready for launch in the aspect of, like, they had to wait like 3-4 extra days to get the team builder fully set up, and now it's fully up and running. And team builder's really dope too, dude. Like, like it is so much more immersive than what it was on NCAA 14, dude. The details are insane. like on the jerseys, the helmets. Now the only bad thing on Team Builder, I will say that they'll probably fix at one point. I wish they would give you the option to do like generic stadiums, because when you go in there and you do a Team Builder, you have to pick a stadium that's already being used by another college. So a lot of people are having to go with some of these colleges that maybe have minimal logo use on them, to where you don't kill the immersion because you're like, oh, I see UMass's logo over there, but you're playing like this is your home stadium, stuff like that. But it's a really good feature. Most people are ranting and raving about Dynasty. You've put a lot of time in on Dynasty, and you seem to really like it. I really like the Road to Glory. It's even deeper than what it was when I used to play. But overall, man, I'll give it an A. Like, really good game. To say we had to wait 11 years, like, I don't really have too many critiques. Very little cons on my side. So, yeah, I'll give it a solid A.
Okay, nah. So we in the same thing, man. Like I said, I've been playing Dynasty. That's my thing, man. So but I get into a little rebuttal on your, just not even a rebuttal, just a little question about it, because I haven't played it since like yesterday. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions about that, man. But
Yeah.
Ashley Holdcamp, I think I remember her from high school. Yeah. What's up with you?
THS.
What's up? Let's see. Better than a howling cat at you while
Bro,
you
Chris
lie.
still dealing with that cat, bro.
Yeah. And we got college football dogs royalty in the house,
Got
man.
the golden boot.
The golden boot, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out, man. But yeah, man. It's interesting, man. But I wanted to talk to you about Team Builder, right? You had mentioned that they don't have the generic stadiums on there. So like, what's that like? You know.
So like, the bad thing is, okay, so this is a bit of a con, and for people who really like Team Builder, it is really a turnoff. So say for instance, me and you, like, okay, we want to start like a Division I, Division II, whatever, and we want to have our own stadium. You can throw your logos all over that field, secondary logos, all that. The bad thing is you don't have access to like a generic stadium, like a clean slate stadium. So a lot of people are, when they're making these teams, they're having to pick like a team with very minimal logo use on it, like say like a UMass or something, because they don't have their logos plastered everywhere, to where when they throw their stuff on the field, it's less noticeable. So it is a bit of a turnoff from my perspective, because it kills the immersion, especially like when you're really into it and you're like, oh yeah, and all of a sudden you see that freaking whatever logo in the background. So that is a bit of it, because you can't take the logos off because they're already there. You can't edit them off of there because it's there. So I don't know if that's something that they're going to go back and like put generic stadiums, because even back in the day when you would do Team Builder, or even like for instance like Road to Glory, you would have a choice of like your generic stadiums to choose from, and it would have just the run of the mill stuff or whatever you could put on there. So yeah. I would assume that would be where they're going to go, especially, I mean, Team Builders, dude, blew up so quick within the first 24 hours. It was insane. So I got to imagine EA is going to be quick to jump on that and be like, okay, let's just get a couple small like templates in there, a couple medium, maybe a couple XL sizes in there. But I mean, for the most part, it's a really good mode. I'm glad that they didn't rush to put it out the same day as launch, that they didn't drop it. I don't think it dropped until the 19th or the 20th. So, yeah. But overall, it's not that bad. It's really good.
Okay, so is it something that you can log into? That's something you got to do.
Team Builder?
Like Team Builder, is it access? It's accessible on the game?
You don't do so like when you go to make your team, it's online. So it's not like it's not like old school Madden where you do create a team. So like for instance, I'm gonna go make my D2 college, whatever. I'm gonna go on the Team Builder website. I can customize the field, I can customize my jerseys, my roster, everything. And when I'm ready, you can pretty much upload it to the Team Builder like file, to where when you go back onto your console, you can search up like that team or whatever, and you can pull your team up and like pretty much like put them into your game.
Okay. No. That's cool. All right.
You really like it. Like if you just watch like a video or two, like it's deep. Like it's very deep.
No. I'm actually very interested in that, because I actually didn't get a chance to really experience Team Builder in its initial run. Because I was like, yo, I want to create my team. You know, I didn't even think that was an option because you would see it on the loading screen, team builder, like, what is that, right? But you know, you just playing the game, not really paying attention to what it is. But now you actually got me interested. I'm actually gonna mess with that tonight, man.
It's dope. You'll like it.
But yeah, so let's get into today's show. Okay, before we get into that, all right. So is Arizona State in the Big 12 now?
Yeah, I can tell you all the new teams that joined.
Okay, yeah, tell me that, because I'm trying to make sure I got them all.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just be sure, but I'm about 90. Okay.
All right, so I got the teams I got right now. I got Oklahoma State. I got Utah.
Yep.
I got Colorado.
Yep.
I know Kansas. I know Houston. I know TCU. I know Texas Tech. I know BYU.
Yep. Central
Iowa
Florida.
State, Central Florida, West Virginia, Kansas State, Baylor.
That's everybody.
Am I missing one?
Nope, that's everybody.
And Arizona State.
Yes, Arizona State. They jumped at the same time. Yeah, they jumped at the same time as Arizona and Utah.
All right, that's the team. That's the team I don't have,
2,
man.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah. So 16 teams altogether.
Yeah, that's the team. That's the team I didn't add to the graphic, man. I knew I was missing one, but I wasn't sure, man.
Because the Pac-12 only retained 2 teams, and that was Washington State and Oregon State. Those are the only 2 that never jumped ship.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, man. But I wanted to get him a logo, man. Yeah, I wanted to get him a logo real quick, man. It shouldn't be that hard, man. Yeah.
Man.
Nah, it's all good, man. We working on the fly, man. It's just a part of going live, man. It ain't that big a deal, man. Like going live is like, you know, you expect some things to be a little crazy when you go live, man. But yeah, man, we can start with today's programming, man. We did our college football 25 news, which was absolutely amazing. But let's get into the regular stuff, man. Let's talk about this Big 12, man. Yeah, let's talk about this Big 12, man. So, okay. All right, you get into the Big 12, man.
Yeah.
I know you want to you start off with it, man, but let's talk about the champion that's there, Oklahoma State, man. While I kick people out of my office, man.
Of your humble abode. So, okay, cool. So Oklahoma State's in a really cool spot, man. If you guys didn't know, they did win the conference last year. And in my opinion, they're a really big favorite to end up winning this conference this year just because, one, they're the most familiar with it. One, they can score points on offense, man. Mike Gundy has always got them firing on all cylinders on offense. And I find they're pretty respectable on defense. Now, in a year where you get, another 3-4 new teams, it could give them a run-in for their money. They're always seem pretty solid at the quarterback position, but they're always really talented at the skill positions like running back, receiver, and tight end, stuff like that. They run a very wide open, like run up and down the field, score offense, man. And they got Ollie Gordon back. He's available. He's not going to miss any time. So that is definitely a big deal. Ollie Gordon, last year was a very valuable piece of that team, especially with the success of them being able to go back and win the Big 12 conference as well. I like Oklahoma State here. I think they're in a really good spot. I think if there's a year for them to, win the conference and then, make a nice nice playoff spot, like I really think this year could be the year, but I'm not completely sold on them winning the conference as a whole. They definitely have some stiff competition. I like where the Big 12 is at right now. Adding back like teams like Colorado, and you got some really valuable teams that we're going to get into, like Arizona State, and one I'm pretty high on, the Utah Utes. So really good one. But as for Oklahoma State, man, like you can't go wrong with them. They're a safe pick. They're really good on offense, man. They can score points at will. There's a reason why they won the conference last year. The fact that they're going to have Ollie Gordon back, he's not going to miss any time, is a very valuable piece of information that could really carry them over the edge to make a playoff spot.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. I heard a little bit of that, man. But I really wanted to talk about Ollie Gordon, man. I think he has a good chance to win the Heisman. I know he got in a little bit of trouble, but Coach Gundy had said that he was going to be handled internally, so nothing crazy about that. I think probably suspend him for probably the first half of their first game. That's typically what happens, and that's all right. Like I said, man, he made a mistake, man. A very serious one, by the way, because you can't be getting DUIs, man, because that could cost someone's life. But at the same time, man, it's a learning experience, man, and he knows he's important to the team, man. This is gonna be Mike Gundy's 20th season, I believe.
Feels like he's been there longer, dude. It feels like he's just been there for dude. As long as I can remember watching Big 12 football, he's like that one person who's always been there.
Yeah, him and Bob Stoops, man. Those are ones, man, that been there for a while. When I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, damn, that's a long time, bro. But I'm really happy to see him, man. I'm really happy to see him succeed. And in a world where coaches get fired after a half a season, it's good to see them understanding that they're not out of the picture. All they gotta do is just get hot, and they don't have to worry about OU and Texas anymore. Those teams are gone. So
Oklahoma
now
State's definitely a
favorite, bro, and they've had some really good teams. They just had run into Texas and they run into Oklahoma.
Exactly.
Right? So and then the year that kind of kicked off all the college football playoff talk, they were supposed to be in the championship game that year. Because Alabama and LSU went back, did the rematch, but it should have been LSU and Oklahoma State that year. So it's interesting, man. I think it's really cool, man. So that would have been a cool matchup, Doki, though.
We might have actually been able to get past the 50.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad game, man. But we got some comments, man, before we get into this next team, man. Team Builder, please select the Artichokes as your team name.
That's cute. I want to know which one of y'all said that. I'm curious.
Man, that's funny, man. Not the Artichokes.
That's a cute
Actually,
name.
you know what? Artichoke does sound good right now, though. Artichoke dip. Yeah. Yep.
If Arizona can catch it, yeah, I mean they still have a really good team. I mean, we're gonna get into a bit deeper.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm that high, but they are still a really good team coming into this conference.
Yeah, man. So yep, that's what happened. There we go. Shout out to the Golden Boot, man.
That is true.
Yep. So yeah, Les Miles left, and then Gundy got the head coaching job, and the rest is history. And if we're really being honest, who had the better career so far between the two?
I mean, one's got a national championship and one don't, though.
I mean, that's true, but dude, what about all in between?
We ain't gonna talk about that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if you want to talk about,
I'm pretty sure Cody could vouch for it.
Yeah, if you really want to talk about comparing careers, man, you really got to get into Les Miles and Mike Gundy.
The Mad Hatter.
Yeah, man, because it is. At first, you could say, "Oh man, Mike Gundy ain't really won nothing," but over time,
been consistently good though.
They've been consistently good. How much has LSU been? Especially under him. Brian Kelly, I feel like it's now kind of mellowed out, but under Les Miles, man, I was like, yo, I feel for the dudes down there, man. Every year they feel like, oh, it's their year. And then he show up eating grass and shit, So, but yeah, Les Miles was I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would agree, but dude, like, bro,
Well, on the field though.
if I could count on my hand how many times this dude cost us a game because of terrible clock management, like I could write a book. Like it was that bad.
Yeah,
It was
man.
that bad.
Yeah,
But
see what I'm saying? So, I like I said, man, no, we're not really just punching down on Les Miles, but at the same time, man,
he ain't made it too
it
good
was
for
tough.
himself, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was some bad stuff that I seen. And I was like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? But eating the
Hey.
grass was the last straw to me. I knew he wasn't. I knew something was wrong with that man after he started eating grass, bro. I was like, okay, that's y'all. That's y'all guy. All right, man. You ain't gonna see Nick Saban eat no grass though. That's for sure.
He got him a stash behind the tent. It's okay.
Yeah, man. That was some crazy stuff, man. But all right, so let's get into some more teams, man. Let's get into the Utah Utes, man.
Oh man, that's gonna be a good
So
one.
I like this. I like this team coming to the Big 12, man. I think you are the same way. You're excited to see what they can do. I think it's a perfect scenario for them, man. I mean, I think Kyle Winningham. Let me pull it up on my thing. If I'm not mistaken, this is gonna be his 20th season there too.
Dude's a heck of a coach, bro. And he's got the quarterback he needs right now to win. If he wants to win this year, he can win this year with that quarterback, bro. He's got Cam Rising one more year.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it is. It's his 20th season
Dude,
at
he is damn
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Damn good
man.
coach.
He's 154 and 75, man. So a 67 winning percentage, man. So he's been winning some games, not just being a great coach. He's been winning some games. So I find it very, very good. I think this is an opportunity for them to really not just get back to where they were with Urban Meyer, but I think they can really show some playoffs. Talk about some playoffs with this team, man. Because I think defensively, every year they're one of the best teams. If you're looking at numbers, and they're not a team like they just beat you. Like it doesn't matter how. They really just win the game. So I'm really excited to see what Cam Rising can do. He's a dark horse for Heisman, in my opinion, because I think if he gets hot, he can do that. He's also a dual threat guy. So he's going to give you some rushing touchdowns as well. You have to really account for him. So I think that's a really cool team, man. I think this was a good move for them to come to the Big 12. Little bit outside of the realm of regional things, but I think we're past that as college football. But hey, I think it works. If you can go get West Virginia to join the conference, which I think was really cool too, because West Virginia had Dana Holgorsen at the time, and he was a wide open offense kind of guy. I was like, that's perfect for the Big 12. So you got another school that kind of can do that same thing, but can beat you on defense. So this conference is good, man. So got some more comments, man. Let's get it. Let's see, man.
Wait, go give them guys a big. I mean,
yeah, that's some Les Miles stuff. I can definitely.
It do sound. He be saying some really off the wall. Look, there's good times to be an LSU fan, and Cody Gavas, but there's not so good times to be an LSU fan. That's not such a great time.
Let's see, Utah lost one of their primetime starters. I mean, that's cool, but I mean, they lost them. But I mean, look, you're in a conference that's winnable. So if you lose a player or two, it's not gonna hurt you. But this next comment is the player you can't have lose. You can't lose that one. You can't lose.
The crazy thing is, they did damn good last year, even when he got hurt. Imagine how good they would have been if he didn't. He was lighting people up, dude. They beat USC twice. You mean to tell me, boy, they would have blew him out the water had he been in there, dude? Like, straight killer, bro. He's cold-blooded.
I agree.
They're a playoff team if he's there. I'm telling you.
I agree, man. I agree. So it's not it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility, but he's definitely one you can't lose because as you mentioned, one of the people in the comments mentioned earlier, Noah Fafita's there. Um you got Shadur Sanders is there. I don't care who the quarterback is at Oklahoma State, they're gonna sling it around the field.
You're
So it
right.
doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. Then you got I want to say Jalen Daniels still at Kansas.
Yep.
So he's still good. Then you got whoever's playing at not TCU, but Texas Tech. Doesn't matter. They're gonna sling it there. Let's see. Isn't oh gosh, he was at Auburn, man. Gus Bus. Is he still there with UCF?
Oh no, they got KJ Jefferson, bro. KJ
No, no,
Jefferson at
no, no, no,
UCF.
no. I know they got KJ, right? What I'm saying is Gus Malzahn still there. Gus Bus.
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
He gonna be nice
Yeah.
too, bro. That's
Yeah.
another thing we're gonna talk about too.
Yeah. So they're gonna be really good, man. So but let's get into the team of the hour that everybody seems to love, hate relationship with, man. Let's talk about the Colorado Buffaloes coming back to the Big 12, man. So I think there's a very, very, very good chance that this team could be really good or really bad, man. I think last season, if you've seen the graphic, man, 4-8, but they're probably the most talked about 4-8 team ever that I've ever seen in college football, right? Probably behind them would be that Nebraska team a couple years ago that seemed to lose every damn game by one touchdown. Yeah, that was them. But this team is talked about so much, man. Let's see, from the quarterback to the head coach, which if you lived under a rock, is the quarterback is Shadur Sanders and the head coach is primetime Deion Sanders. But we'll call him Coach Prime, Coach Sanders, man, because I think he's earned that. um, I think he's done a lot of good. I think he's done a lot of good, man. A lot of good, man. I think what he does for the kids, like, is unmatched. You know, he really, really gives back to football, man. And people might say, "Oh, he's arrogant," whatever, things like that, man. He shouldn't be a head coach and things like that. I think those people are just haters. I'm pretty sure Deion Sanders probably intercepted somebody they know, and they're just mad, you know. But the guy is one of the best coaches in the sport right now. You know, not just because he's a former player. That helps, honestly. But we've seen former players not be very good coaches. We've seen it, you know. I've seen it in other sports. You know, Derek Jeter's one of the best players of all time. Not a great executive. Not, no. You can't, you just, everybody, you can't get 9 Derek Jeters, okay? It's not going to be you, right? And that's usually the case. And I say that not to shit on Derek Jeter, but that's my point. It's hard to recreate you. And that's a problem with a lot of players that become coaches. You know, they think that, hey man, I did it, you can do it, right? But you different, dog. You different, right? So but he's been good at separating the two, right? I know I'm prime time. I know I'm Deion Sanders. I'm a Hall of Famer in college and pro. I'm probably the best defensive back that ever played the game, but he doesn't necessarily use that as a teaching tool, right? Like, I don't throw that in your face. Like, you should just listen to me because I'm him. You know, you should listen to me. Why? Because I'm teaching you the way to do it and not just how to do it. You know, and I love the way he's doing it, man. I also like how he holds his sons accountable, um, as far as being, you know, on the team. Like, they're not above the law. And you know, I like that because there's a lot of nepotism going around to where you could just give your kid the starting job, you know, and he might not be the best player, you know, might not be the best option at the time. But you know what? He holds them accountable and makes them work hard. And I think that helps a lot. You know, I hear a lot of these players. Um, I see a lot of players and then media, people that we talk about, just really shit on Deion Sanders, and Colorado and what it is and everything. And I'm like, bro, y'all tripping, man. Let the guy build the team. The team lost like 11 games before he got there. And they won 4 last year. So my thing is, you have to really look at the whole picture, right? The team was terrible. They replaced it with a lot of transfer players, man. And some of those guys really didn't buy in, right? Now we move another cycle. We can move some of those guys out. Cormani McLean was, the way the reports are, he was one of those guys that needed to leave. Let's see, they lost Dylan Edwards. He left to Kansas State, which would be a very good pickup. I mean, it's about recruiting, man. And I think Deion's done a good job, man. I think the Big 12 will be really good, man. I'm really glad they back, man. I know it's long-winded, but I really had to say that because I'm seeing some comments in here that I'm gonna show that really signify what I'm talking about, right? Not really looking at the whole picture. Like, hey, Deion's doing some good work, and just give him some time, right? But yeah, before you talk about Colorado, I want to put these comments out here, right? So let's see. So Will Shepard is competing for the starting wide receiver spot. Okay, that's good, right? That's good. That'll take some. That's a good comment. That'll take some pressure off of Travis Hunter, right? Like if he doesn't have to catch 12, 13 balls, he actually might make it through the whole season, right? So that's good. That's cool. Like Vanderbilt lost another guy that was really good to Georgia. His name's Humphreys. So they lost another good guy. So Vanderbilt, like people shit on Vanderbilt all the time, but dude, they play in the SEC for a reason, and they still get SEC players. So yeah, and it seems like everybody else wants them too. So it's not like they're not doing nothing. So you sleep on Vanderbilt if you want to, you're gonna lose. So, but this is the next one I wanted to do, man. Let's see. It won't be a head coach.
Yeah, I'll put money that that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll put money that too. Not happening.
Definitely.
Sound like a hater. Let's see. His oldest son was horrible in college, and he didn't hold him accountable. Which son?
Well,
Are we talking about Shadur, or are we talking about Shiloh?
it's not him or Shiloh. It's the other one that doesn't play football no more. I forget his name, but yeah, he's got an older son that played for him at Jackson State, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean, he's the oldest, bro. He's the oldest.
At the end of the day,
you can't control your oldest sometimes, man. Come on, man. Stop it. It's the little ones you're worried about. The oldest is already out the house and doing his thing. Leave him alone. Nah, man. But what you think about Colorado, man?
So
I want to get your thoughts on that.
I want to try to be as real as I can about this. You got to understand that program was in complete turmoil. Before we even get into what's going on now, the team won 1 game, 11 losses. Pretty much lost dang near almost everybody on their roster. And when he came in, it's like, look, I'm not trying to lose like that anymore. If you want to buy in, you can buy in. If you want to leave, you can leave. Cool. You have a 4-8 season. People are crapping on them for a 4-8 season, but they had at least 2 or 3 of them losses that they were legit in for a good piece of the game. Just didn't have enough firepower or a couple of mistakes. They ended up costing them. Colorado could have been a 6-6 team last year, in my opinion, had they not had made some of those mistakes or got behind on some of these teams. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to talk about the Oregon loss. Oregon was loaded last year, just like they are this year. Not talking about that one. But there were some other games on that schedule that they had a really good chance of winning had they had not made as many mistakes. I think Deion's doing a good job of changing the culture. I'm not as high on Shadur as some people are. I think he's ultra talented. I think his potential is sky high. I think he does need to humble himself a bit and like really hone in. I think he's got a lot of haters to prove wrong this year, just like Shiloh. And they've been all in the media all college football is a lot different than what it used to be. And when you got that Sanders name on your back, obviously you're going to garner a lot more attention. They're going to be all in your business. Everybody's talking about this and this and that.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good quarterback. I hope he proves me wrong. I think Colorado's a good team. Losing Edwards is a big blow that people probably aren't talking about. That was a big loss, in my opinion.
Big loss. Yeah.
Big loss. They have been doing he has been very under the radar in recruiting, especially with some transfers. Not as much in the transfer portal. He's been doing really good in recruiting, especially in the last but since the end of last season, in my opinion. Do I think Colorado wins the conference? Probably not. But I could see them. So. I could definitely see Colorado in that 6 to 7 game wins. I could see them anywhere between 6 and 7 games, and that's good because guess what? Now you're seeing a progression. You're seeing 1, then 4, then 6 or 7. Now, obviously, you're going to lose Hunter and Sanders after the season, so I hope they ball out, man. I hope the publicity and everything doesn't go to their head to where they start getting really high and mighty. But Colorado's not a bad team, man. And I think another year of him being there and being able to keep establishing his culture and getting people where he wants to get them and putting this team in the best position to win, man, this is a really good opportunity for them to make some noise. One, we've been waiting for them to come back to the Big 12. I wish Nebraska would come back to the Big 12. Yeah. That would be it. That'd be perfect. But in regards to them, this is a really good year, man, because you still have a couple of new teams from last year with like UCF, BYU, and some of those teams like that. And you get some more familiarity with teams like Utah, Arizona State. It's a really good year for them to put a stake in the ground and be like, hey, like, we're not trash no more. Like, we can still recruit really well. We can get guys in the transfer portal. Yeah, we won't have our stud quarterback and receiver, but we're not all in just for this year. We're establishing the culture to where going forward, this team's going to be respectable, and this team's going to be at least a minimum of a bowl game winning team every season. So, I mean, I think Colorado's going to be better. I think they're going to make a lot less of those mistakes. And I think an entire offseason for them to keep gelling and getting chemistry, I think Sanders will play even better and play less turnover ball. I think Colorado will be a good team, man. 6 to 7 wins.
Yeah, man. I think so, too. I think they'll have a lot more improvement, man. See, I don't know his older son. I didn't know he had
maybe
one.
I was mistaken. Maybe I got confused. I
don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't know he had an older son that wasn't playing. I thought they all were playing. But I mean, dude, that's just how it goes, man. Sometimes your kid's not gonna be as great as you. Think of Michael Jordan kids. They all play basketball and all of them weren't that good. So it just happens, man. So I'm not really gonna put a lot of stock in that. Oh, his son wasn't that good. Like, bro, his son wasn't that good, man. It just happens. That's what happens when you have a great dad. You know, it's just not good. Sometimes you ain't gonna be the next thing, you know. Like I said, so let's see, it's terrible. He's never coached a team. See, he sounds like a hater, bro. Sound like a hater.
That if he retires after Shedder is gone. Dude, he wouldn't have signed and made all this noise just to come for a 2-year rental. That don't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, like, no.
Dion is the kind of guy to swing for the fences, and he's not gonna leave on a sour note. Like he's gonna find a way to make it work. I'm not saying the guy's gonna turn into a national championship winning head coach there. Not saying that, but I just feel like we're kind of picking threads when we're saying things like that. I think it's kind of a bit of a stretch to be kind of coming at him like that. That's
just be honest. It sounds like some haterade. You're sipping on some haterade.
But hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Hey, yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I'm also gonna say you're sipping on that haterade a little bit, just a little bit, just a shot glass of haterade, man. That's all.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah.
You're getting a little tipsy now, bro.
Yeah,
Don't get too crazy.
Yeah. But we appreciate the engagement, man. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, man. But yeah. So let's get to this next team, dog. Let's get to this next team. We're talking about Kansas, man. They did good last season, man. I think there's a very positive feel around Kansas, you know, and it's Coach Leopold is still there. He's doing his thing. I think he fixed the mess that Les Miles left, right? Which actually, the way it ended,
it wasn't even that bad in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way it ended made it look like it was terrible.
They did it pretty swift. Like they didn't let it get messy.
Yeah, they didn't let it get messy. But at the same time, looking back on what he did at Kansas, I thought it was really cool. Like I thought it was kind of cool. Like he established kind of a recruiting base. I think the time he was at LSU that got a little hairy, so he took a little bit of time off, and he kind of got back to what college football really was to him, you know. And Kansas was really good, man. They were recruiting. I mean,
Well, no. I'm saying when you say what college football was meant to him, I think it's a little bit different than what college football means to us.
hey,
I'm sorry.
all I'm saying is it got back to normal Les Miles. You know, it got back to the Les Miles that maybe Oklahoma State got to know a little bit more than y'all did. So, but I like the fact that he really kind of started what Coach Leopold is taking to a whole nother level. I mean, the documentary they had on ESPN about Kansas football coming back, I watched a couple episodes of that back in the day. And it was cool, man. He had got an offensive coordinator that ended up getting the head coaching job, I think, at Troy. So that kind of messed up some stuff early on, but he still got some good players, man. So and then Coach Leopold takes it to another level. So it's a positive energy, man. It's a lot more positive energy than I've seen at Kansas since big coach was there in like 08, 07, 08 when big man coach was there. So yeah, a lot
Are you
of
talking about Charlie Weiss?
no, hell no.
He was there too, and that wasn't too good.
That was horrible. That was bad. That was bad, bro. I ain't talking about that.
But as far as we can remember, that's pretty much how Kansas has been for a long time. The coach now, I give him full flowers for what they've been able to accomplish.
What's Kansas? Kansas Jayhawks, man. I'm gonna get into the next team, but I want to find out who that coach was, man, because he was good there for a minute. Hold up, but you talk about the next team on the list. Let's talk about Houston, man. It's all Houston, man. Houston really good, dog.
Yeah, Houston. I want to say Houston's got Tulane's head coach from last year too, if I'm not mistaken. They got him. That's a really good fit. You seen what he was able to do with Tulane, bringing them back to prominence. I mean, led them to a big W over USC a couple years ago. Brought them back to relevancy. Really good. It brought them really good in the recruiting. They're doing even better in recruiting now. Houston's one of those sleeper teams in the Big 12, man. They've been doing really good for the last decade or so, but not like necessarily in regards to wins. Like always producing really good talent, especially on offense, like from the receiver position, some good quarterbacks here or there. They can always score points. They're just not maybe as good on defense, in my opinion. But I think Houston's in a good spot. They're kind of one of those middle-of-the-road teams, in my opinion. I don't see them as a real contender, but I don't look at them as a bottom feeder. I look at them as a team that always has talented players and can always be in the thorn in the side of especially some of the more prominent juggernaut teams in the conference. So I think Houston had 4 wins last year. I see them anywhere between maybe 4 wins to 6 wins. I don't really see them getting any higher than that. But I think them getting a good head coach from Tulane in there, I think it's going to really benefit them, especially over the big picture, the longer journey in the Big 12.
Yeah, man. So that coach name was Mark Mangino.
Yeah, that's what it. Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, Mark Mangino was the guy, man.
Ooh, we're about to the hour mark.
Like what the hell, man? Really? What the hell? Okay. Yeah, his health is bad. His health is bad. And yes, he had I think his toes amputated, right? But that could happen to anybody, bro. Like, why are we talking about that of all things? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. We can talk about anything else except his health, right? If Joe Paterno can coach for 70 years, I think Deion Sanders is okay. And I know Joe Paterno had a lot more wrong with him than people gave him credit for, but he was that was Penn State, bro. He was Penn State through and through. So I mean, I think Deion's okay. I really think he's okay. But yeah, man, I think Houston is good, man. I hated seeing that Dana Holgorsen ended up passing away. Not passing away, got fired. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I'm thinking about something else, man. But I'm upset that he got fired because he was really good, bro. His offensive genius was okay. And actually, they've actually had a couple coaches that come in there and really done good, but they just fire them. Just fire them. Like, I mean, they had Major Applewhite, was there for a minute. Gosh, the dude from Texas got fired before Sark got there.
Oh,
He
you
was,
talking about Tom Herman?
yeah, he was at Houston too. So Houston was really good, man. So and then Dana Holgerson, the same thing. Like, wide open offense, man. I think the only thing is they just didn't win, right? And you're right about that. So I think there's a lot to reconsider about Houston, but they're in a good spot. I always thought Houston should be in the Big 12. I was like, man, like, bro, Case Keenum back in the day with all those passing offenses, bro. It was good, man. But let's run this commercial break so we can get through this next thing. You know where you can find better and more important college football content. College football dogs, man. Join the revolution, man. Here we go.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
Yeah, man, join the revolution, man. That is College Football Dogs, man, taking back sports media, man. We excited, man, to be a part of this college football season. NFL season is coming up. So we're in a good spot. We're happy to be a part of them. We can push our content out anytime we want. Man, like I said, we've been streaming college football 25, man. We play older games as well. Taking a break from that, obviously, because I want to play college football 25. Give Madden 06 and NCAA 06 a break. But at the same time, man, we're excited to be a part of this team, man. And we're just happy to grow, man. So if you're still watching, man, check out our socials at the bottom, man, and check out College Football Dogs too, man. So they're plastered all over our socials, man. So we're excited to be a part of them. Great organization, man. But let's continue, man, so we can take some medicine because I know we're both not feeling well, man. But at the same time, man, let's talk about TCU, man. It's been downward spiral, man. Since they showed up in the national championship game. But at the same time, man, I expect Sonny Dykes to fix this team. I think now that you've gotten OU and Texas out of the way, I think it's open, man, for those next couple teams to get in that top three, So I expect them to win about 7-8 games this year, man. Nothing too crazy, nothing out of the blue. Definitely not a national championship. No, we're not going that far. But you know what? I think that was a good time for TCU fans because they have been through a lot. As far as, having good teams, but just
Not good enough.
Yeah, they've been rough, man. But I think they'll be all right, man. Anything you got on Texas Christian University?
Man, it's a rich program, man. One of my favorite players of all time, LT, played at TCU, man. TCU's got rich history of really talented players. I really liked when Coach Patterson was there a long time ago. He was always really good. And, I mean, hey, Sonny Dykes proved himself, man. I mean, they made it by the skin of their teeth all the way to the national championship game to lose in dramatic fashion. But I think TCU will be good. I think all the teams will benefit, but I think TCU is going to really benefit from, one, the loss of Texas and Oklahoma. And now you got a bunch of these other up-and-coming teams coming into the Big 12. I could see them anywhere between 6 to 7 games, I'd probably say. Not a bad team, to say the least. They're probably a bowl team. Sonny Dykes is going to figure it out, but at least now you don't have those two juggernaut teams getting in your way and maybe stealing some of those recruits. Now that they're out of the conference, maybe you might be able to get a lot of those guys that maybe you weren't able to get before. Especially now that you deploy, hey, the Big 12 is open. We can turn things around. We might be able to be a perennial conference champion. Come check us out. This is your time to really shine. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
No, man, I agree, man. I think TCU is they play a wide open offense, man. I just think they need to find a quarterback with some fire like Max Duggan had, man. Max Duggan was really good, man. I think him getting benched is like the same thing as Joe Burrow coming back for that second year at LSU. He's a whole different beast. It's just something changed with his mindset, with his understanding of the playbook. Something happened with Max Duggan when he got benched to start the season.
It's oh, okay.
That's what we doing? That's what we doing. Oh, okay. I see what y'all doing. Y'all playing with my emotions. Nah, man.
Now I'm about to take your soul.
Yeah, man. He definitely did good, man. I mean, like I said, everybody makes fun of TCU in the national championship game, but that's okay. That's all right, man. Georgia,
that's the big thing.
Kirby coached them boys up to not take no prisoners in that game. They wasn't playing. They was not playing at all. And but everything before that was really cool to see, man. I thought Max Duggan in the Big 12 championship game, honestly, I thought that won him the Heisman, low key. I really did, man, because he played his tail off. I've seen people leave it on the field, right? Everything. I've seen Tebow. I've seen the Cam Newtons of the world. I've seen the Joe Burrows. I've seen the Tua Tagovailoa. I've seen a guy, just have ankle surgery, playing in the game, giving it his all, man. I've seen it. We've seen it. You've seen it, right? And Max Duggan did that, man. That I thought he won the Heisman. I said, man, give it to him. They lost the game, but it definitely wasn't his fault. So I was like, yeah. So when they got into the playoffs, I was like, yeah, that's the story. Max Duggan giving his all, and yeah. I was mad, obviously, because you want Bama in there, you want your LSU in there, you know that, right? You want your team in there, right? But when there's a good story, man, sometimes you gotta let it play out, bro. So I like that a lot, man. So, but let's get into the next team, man, because we running hella behind on time, bro. So, but Texas, we talking Texas Tech, man. I expect them to be top 25 in offense. Don't know about defense, but I know they're gonna pass the ball, and I know it's gonna be fun, man. Let me see. They won 7 games, so
I see them around the same thing. Texas Tech's always really talented. They're very low-key talented at the skill positions. Defensively, they're not that bad either, but obviously anybody knows Texas Tech, man. They're going to run the air raid, especially ever since Mike Leach was there. They open things up. They drive up and down the field. They score points. But they're always going to have a quarterback that's got a cannon for an arm that can put the ball 40, 50 yards downfield. So I still think they're probably a bowl team. Yeah, 6-7 wins. That's not a terrible place for them to be in.
I do too, man. I do. I think they'll be all right, man. Like I said, I don't know how good they're gonna be on defense, which has always been an issue at Texas Tech. Even when they were really good with Mike Leach, defense was an issue.
They can drop 50 points a game, but they still gonna lose.
Yeah, they score 50 points, but give up like 57. So yeah, so like that's the thing, man. But let's get into this next team, man. BYU, man. Went 5-7 last year, man. Tough season. I think BYU is in a rebuilding mode. I love their coach because he actually played at BYU, so I find it. He actually played fullback at BYU, so I really like the guy because fullback is almost a dying position, man. Won't see many teams carry a fullback, but the fact that he played fullback at BYU, I like him already because he got his nose dirty. But at the same time, man, I think BYU is in a rebuilding year, so I could see them in the same space this year. Probably 5-6 wins. 7 would be the ceiling for me.
Yeah.
That would be the ceiling. Anything above 7 is probably overachieving.
I'm thinking they're probably about 5-6 tops. I think they I don't know how good they're really doing in recruiting, especially in a new conference. I gotta imagine. I don't know what kind of restrictions they have, but I don't see them eclipsing 6 games. The Big 12 is just really talented, and I just don't see them amongst one of those really talented teams this year.
Yeah, man, I agree. So we in agreement there, man. This one I wanted to get into get in your mind about. Let's talk about Iowa State, man. So Matt Campbell's still there. My thought process when I was looking at Iowa State before the show, I felt like he should have left like 2 years ago. Like when they was like really good.
When they had Purdy and they were like,
yeah, man,
yeah.
I feel like he should have left like 2 years ago, bro. Because now it's kind of the steam's wearing off, right? And I think you take Iowa State as far as you could take them, Like we're not talking about, Kurt France in Iowa, right? This ain't the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Iowa has a chance to win the Big 10 sometimes. Like that's how good they recruit. That's how good their system is, right? At Iowa State, you ain't really competing for many Big 12 championships. I don't even remember them being that good with Seneca Wallace back in the day. So
not really, no.
Yeah, so I just think like they'll be in the same position. 7, 8, maybe 9 wins with some upsets here or there. But I think Matt Campbell should leave, bro, because you're wasting your time to really be a dominant coach at a big time program. I think you've taken Iowa State as far as you can, and I think it's just time, man. So in my opinion, if it goes haywire at Florida, right? I think
he could be a good candidate.
I think Matt Campbell might be on that list, man. And don't be surprised if they offer it to him, man. But actually, they'll offer it to him. But I think the Florida coach is gonna be somebody that's a winner, that's a proven winner. Even if it's like a small school as a winner.
They need stability.
I think it's gonna be
Napier
somebody.
Doesn't make it. They need somebody that is proven.
Yeah,
over a long stretch.
Yeah, because I feel like that's kind of where it's gonna go. I think they need somebody, and I think Matt Campbell's a proven winner. I think if you gave him Florida's budget recruiting circles, I think he could really do some damage, man. So I think it's a good fit. I just think Florida's just gonna like be stupid, man. But that's all right, man. That's all right. They've been stupid before. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another day. We don't even get into.
You know what I'm talking about. They've been stupid before. They've been stupid before, man. So
it's Florida.
Yeah,
the territory.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dog, let's get into this next team. Let's talk about West Virginia, man. West Virginia did some good, man. West Virginia, man. I was reading their preseason poll last year. West Virginia was picked to finish like bottom 3 last year. And they finished 9-4, man. So really good team. I thought they really balled out and finished the year with a bowl win. So For all those people that say bowl games aren't that important, man, look.
To me, they are.
Yeah, to me they are, man. I enjoy bowl games, and I think you know say you can say it's not important, but look at Florida State and Georgia and tell me it's not important.
It's a difference making somebody keeping their job too. Like you got to think, like a team might be teetering, but they make it to a bowl game. Like them winning or losing that game could be the difference in you keeping or losing your job. So I still think there is a lot of significance, you know.
Yeah, like I look at it like I've seen bowl games decide, you know, quarterback battles, man. Like I go back to what year was that, man? The year Greg McElroy came, he was gonna start the next season. So it's like 08, 09, right? So John Parker Wilson, you know, is the guy, right? He's a senior, he leaves. But a bowl game is basically where the quarterback battle started throughout the offseason. You know, I forgot who the other guy was. I think it might be Philip Sams or something like that. But Greg McElroy, you know, stated that that's really what happened. You know, the quarterback battle started at the bowl game. So I find that to be really interesting and cool about bowl games. And that's how it starts, man. I think people who choose not to play, like, so here's my philosophy on the bowl games. Like, if you are slotted to be in that first 15 picks in the draft, right? I even push it to top 20. If you're a top 20 NFL draft pick and it's undisputed, nobody, you getting all this information from everybody, and they all say the same thing, I'm okay with you missing the bowl game because you've done everything you needed to do. You've secured your spot in the draft. You know you're going to be a first rounder, right? If you're not in there, there's no reason for you not to play in this bowl game because the only thing you can do is help your draft stock, right? If you're in the top 20, then you really don't need to, you're not helping it anything else. They already have the most information they need from you. They know that, hey, regarding your medical and your interview process, you're still going to go in the top thing, right? But if you're not in there, bro, you need to be playing in this and giving your all and adding more film to your thing. That's all it can do. It's all it can help, man. I've seen, you know, and then you parlay that into the combine, which I think is a more one-on-one thing. I think they see more of your skill set at the combine, like your athleticism, your, you know, your mental capacity.
Yeah, intangibles.
They can sit down and talk to you about things outside of football at that particular point. But as far as on the field, that's something that you can really help yourself. You know, like I've seen people have great bowl games and go from 5 to 3, you know, in terms of the rounds, right? So, you know, it's important, man. I don't think there's a meaningless bowl game at all, man. I think it's an opportunity for the bench guys to get some playing time. It's also a time for the starters to say, hey, you know, we didn't do what we were supposed to do last season, but I'm coming back with a vengeance, you know. And then the most important thing is the seniors, man. You know, like this is the last time that they're going to get to ride with their guys, man. You know, with their boys one last time at the bowl game because now you're probably going to NFL, you know, you're going Canadian Football League, whatever, man. But y'all going to do other things, and you probably won't have time to see these guys, right? So I think that's the most important thing about bowl games, man. And I feel like with West Virginia, I feel like that was a good thing for them to win the bowl game, man, because now they have a wide open offense too. And they're one of the top 4 teams, you know, in the Big 12, man, because they actually play all around. They play really good defense and they play really good offense. So I think they're really good, man. But like I said, let's get into this next team, man. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save them for later, man. Let's talk about this team. Let's talk about Baylor, man. I want to hear your thoughts on Baylor, man. Just a few years ago, they were in the Big 12 championship game. I think won that thing too. And it's been kind of downhill. Now their head coach pretty well as far as Dave Aranda is concerned. So I want to get your thoughts on Baylor, man.
So Baylor's in an interesting place. Dave Aranda, this could be a really make or break year for Dave Aranda. If you guys don't know who Dave Aranda is, he's a defensive guru. Was really good for, I want to say, Wisconsin before he ended up coming to LSU and having that groundbreaking defense that really helped put LSU over the top. That 2019 LSU team with Joe Burrow. And he got a big opportunity to go to Baylor and showed promise early on. But last season, we showed some struggle. You lost your starting quarterback. He transfers out. You got DeQuan Finn. That is looking like he's going to be your starting quarterback. Blake Shapen transferred out. Baylor, man, they're in a weird spot to me. They need to make some noise this year. Like, I'm not saying Baylor's going to let him go, but I would not be surprised if he starts slipping or if they fall into the same win total that they were in last year. That seat could be real hot. Like, I think he's a good coach. I think he's relatable to the players. He's still relatively young, especially good with relating the defensive players. Like I say, he's a really good defensive coordinator. But they need to make some noise this year, man. I'm hoping that offense can get going again. And I'm hoping they can score points because the Big 12 is going to be a shootout again this year, especially with some of these newer teams coming in. They can score. Like, you need to find yourself in that. You need to be at that 6 to 7 game wins, man, because if you're anything less than 6 games, Baylor AD might be calling for your job, man. I don't want to see that happen. I think Baylor does good in recruiting, but the Big 12 is getting tougher, man. You do benefit from Texas and Oklahoma leaving. But you get a plethora of other good teams that want to come in and make a stamp on why they want to win the conference as well. So I think Dave Aranda's a good head coach. I think he's good at recruiting. Realistically, I think he keeps his job. I think they get 6 wins. I think they make it to a bowl game. Realistically. But I promise you, if he doesn't get to that, if you're at 5 or less, it might be an uncomfortable conversation going forward, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Baylor's in a good spot. I really appreciate Dave Aranda for kind of restoring it a little bit. Just building off of what Matt Rule did, while he was there. So I like what he's done there. I just think Baylor's just in a weird spot, man. I think it's probably one of those teams that got hit hard by NIL, man. It's one of those schools that, they have to really build, man. And with NIL, man, you don't really get that intricate feel in recruiting, right? Because it felt like all the players at Baylor under Art Browse really felt like they were Baylor guys, right? RG3 felt like a Baylor guy, and Bryce Petty felt like a Baylor guy, even though he had a really fallen out as far as his NFL career. Even Sean Oakman felt like a Baylor guy, so you have to get back to that, guys that really want to be at Baylor, and it's tough in this market with NIL and all this stuff. But at the same time, I really hope that they can. I really hope that they can fix Baylor because it's a Big 12 team, man, and you want to see the blue bloods of the Big 12 do really good, man. So hopefully they can get it together, and we'll see, man. But as we get closer to the end, we got a few more teams to go. Let's talk about this team. Let's talk about Arizona State, man. The Pac-12, was still is a really good conference, man. I really want to see what they do with the remaining people in that conference. But Arizona State, I think, is in a good spot. Really hurt to see that Herman Edwards got let go though. Like that was wild. Like I felt like, he really, really enjoyed like coaching, It felt good to see him back coaching with a lot of NFL coaches and players on his staff, Like I felt like that was a really cool advantage, Like, I'm getting coached by Herman Edwards. Like then I got Marvin Lewis as my defensive coordinator recruiting me. I got Antonio Pierce behind him, like I was just cool. And I'm in Arizona, like it's a beautiful state, like that's an advantage, man. But turns out there was some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes, So, but I think Arizona State's in a good spot. I think they got the guy that left Florida, Rashada.
He transferred.
He's not there anymore.
He transferred to Georgia.
What? Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Not good for them.
No, not good. Well, okay. Not good for them, but that's good for Georgia. Because now after Carson Beck, they don't have to really worry about it. They got a nice guy, man. But they should be in an okay spot now. I thought he was still there. Yeah, they should be in a good spot.
Ooh, that sucks though.
Yeah, they should be in an okay spot. I think they can surprise some teams, but they'll probably be in the same spot, man. Just middle of the pack, probably 7-8 wins.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah,
first year in the conference.
I agree.
That's good.
I agree. That's not bad at all. But at the same time, man, like they're not world beaters. We'll say that, man. But now let's get into these last few teams, man. I want to talk about Gus Malzahn, man, and his UFC Knights, man. So I've been a fan of UCF for a while, man. Since they had Dante Culpepper. And I realized
since they were the undisputed national champions.
That made my fandom stronger. But when I realized that Dante Culpepper went to UCF, I found that to be really cool. So I started following that program a little bit, man. So I like UCF, man. I like that they are in Orlando. I think it's a cool spot. I think you can recruit there. It's in Florida. Your family is a good family city. So they're in a good spot, man. They went 6-7 last year, lost in a bowl game. But I think Malzahn is finally gonna get the quarterback he wants, and they could be a surprising team, bro.
Telling you, bro. KJ got something to prove, bro. He got out the shadow from Arkansas. He's ready to sling it.
Yeah, man.
And that's dangerous.
And he's not in a conference that's probably gonna be as tough defensively as it was. And not saying that the Big 12 is not a defensive thing, man, not a defensive conference, but at the same time, man, it hurts a lot worse when you get hit and you can't score no points.
It's true.
So you've been the offensive guy on the podcast. I know it hurts. It hurt him a lot to play under, Arkansas's kind of dwindling offensive team, but now he's got a coach that's really gonna fit his skill set. And if UCF can make some noise, like we've seen Gus Malzahn take Nick Marshall and turn him into a world beater at Auburn. We've seen him be the offensive coordinator at Auburn with Cam Newton. We've seen him, win with lesser talent. We've seen him take Jarrett Stidham and turn him into a quarterback, a pro quarterback. So imagine what he can do with KJ Jefferson. I'm not saying he could, win the Heisman and things like that. But I'm saying a good season under him could sneak him into that first, second, or third round spot in the draft, man. Because he's a big guy with a big arm. He's not a statue. He's mobile. But as far as college is concerned, I can expect Jefferson to have at least 3,000 yards passing and maybe 1,000 yards rushing. Because I think he's way more useful going forward than just like running him in options and everything. I expect them to run an offense that resembles what they ran with Cam Newton. Like, we're going to use this guy. He has an arm. He's accurate as well. the quarterback power is probably going to be the move, man. Like if they can get him moving forward, who's going to tackle him and stop him from picking up a yard when you need it? You know, I don't think many people going to want to tackle KJ Jefferson. Like, and then if you running full speed, I really don't think nobody going to want to tackle KJ Jefferson. You know, so like I think they'll be all right, man. I think UCF could win way more than 7 games this year. And if I'm being honest, they could be a dark horse to win this conference, man.
True.
Because I think if we're thinking about all the quarterbacks in this conference, man, who really stands out? I think you got to put Cam Rising up there. I think you got to put KJ Jefferson up there. And you can definitely put anybody that's at Oklahoma State throwing the football, and anybody at Texas Tech throwing the football. Don't matter who's back there, as long as they throwing the ball to the right team. Those are the quarterbacks that I'm really excited about. So KJ Jefferson on that list, I'm really cool, man. But let's get into this last team. I think that's everybody. We can get into this last team, and that's Kansas State. Another team that really wasn't necessarily picked high to win this conference last year, but won 9 games and a bowl win. So I think Dylan Edwards is a huge pickup. I really think he's from Kansas, like because the way he was talking in the interview, like he really likes that state of Kansas. So I'm not sure if he's from there or not, but the fact that he committed there in the transfer portal is really cool, man. I think it's a big pickup for them. Just another weapon, you know. He's not like Deuce Vaughn. He's a little bit bigger, but same kind of skill set. Fast, can catch out the backfield, get lost behind the offensive line as well. But I think that's a huge pickup for them, man. I think that changes their team drastically because it just makes them more difficult to defend. And Kansas State's always a solid team. Doesn't matter what it is or who they have on their team. They always give 100%, man. I think that's the Bill Snyder way. And he's done really good, man. So he's not there anymore. But I mean, he's done really good in the fact that he's kept everybody believing in Kansas State, regardless of what it is. And I think Colin Klein as the offensive coordinator is going to be huge because you talk about a quarterback that played there. 3rd in the Heisman the year he was playing. So I think they're good, man. I think it'd be all right, man. And, you know, they're a dark horse to win, man. So anything you got to say on Kansas State before we pick our winner of the conference, man?
What you said?
I said anything you got to say on Kansas State before we pick our winner?
Not really, man. I want to see how their offense is going to do that Will Howard left. I think a lot of people aren't talking about that. I think Avery Johnson is their starting quarterback now, which would be interesting to see. I think it's going to be good that you got Dylan Edwards. I just want to see how that offense is going to be able to work without Will Howard running the reins.
I agree, man. Will Howard's going to be really good at Ohio State, man. Like, he's different, man. Like I said, I think you can put anybody at quarterback at Ohio State, and they're going to win. And then I think Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator, ain't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, Ohio State probably going to be undefeated when the playoff starts, bro. Like, they could beat Michigan. Like I said, when we picked it, I said Michigan might win, but they ain't going to win the rematch in the championship game. So, like, bro, it's going to be nasty, dog. They're going to be stupid on offense this year, man. So, you got a Buka there, too. Like, come on, man. Like, that and Judkins on offense, too. Like, bro, they going to be sick on offense, man. Like, bro. Like, Kyle McCord should have stayed, bro. Like, he didn't even play that bad. But you got Judkins, and then you got a Buka back. Anybody else, they going to have a receiver because they know they just churn them out. Like, Will Howard's going to be good. He's going to be nice, man. So, he's going to be one of the quarterbacks that sneak into the first round just because he had a really good season. Not really a first-round quarterback, but damn it, we're going to try. That's what they're going to do. So, I expect Will Howard to be really good, man. He's going to be in that Heisman talk. So, but It's that time, man. Before we get into our closing argument segment, but let's pick the Big 12 winner. You go first, man.
So I have this same spill every week that I feel like there are 3 or 4 teams that all have a genuine ploy to win the conference based on quarterback play, based on experience, based on roster depth, and who's been and who hasn't. You could speak about Oklahoma State. You could speak on UCF. You might throw Arizona in there, but I'll be honest with you. I'm going Utah, dude. First year in the conference. I'm sorry. If Cam Rising is healthy, nobody is stopping them. I'm sorry. They play hard-nosed, tough football on defense, and they know how to either run the ball down your throats or they'll let him air it out all over you. Nobody is stopping them. If Cam Rising, that's a playoff team. Like, that team's guaranteed a playoff spot. If he's healthy the entire season, they're running to the Big 12. Like, I'm saying 9, 10 wins. Easy. If he's healthy, yeah, they're definitely in the 10-win range. I got Utah, hands down.
So I like Utah. I do, man. But I think this is the year for Mike Gundy. I really think this is the year for him, man. You ain't gotta go through you ain't gotta go through Texas. You ain't gotta go through Oklahoma. This is the time for you to win, you know. They've had teams that have been quarterback centric for the most part. Not really many teams that's been running back centric. And I think the fact that you have a Heisman candidate running back at Oklahoma State with all that passing is going to help them win the Big 12 this year, man. I think they're going to ride Ollie Gordon, and whoever's throwing the football is
Alan Bowman.
Huh?
Alan Bowman.
Yeah, I think he was there last year. I think he was a quarterback last year. And he played pretty good in that championship game against Texas, though. Like, Texas just had too much. That's all. Texas just had too much offense for him. But I think this year it'll be year 2 against him. So I think it'll be all right. Man. I think the fact you got Ollie Gordon and the fact that you got a quarterback that has some knowledge of the system coming in year 2, I think you can only grow at this point. You know, you can regress, but I think coming in this season, I think you got a chance to really show that, hey, you know, we were held down by Oklahoma and Texas for years, and now we got a chance to really come back and really show what it is, man. So I got definitely got Oklahoma State winning this conference, man. I think it's wide open. I wouldn't be surprised if you got 4 or 5 teams that can win. You know, obviously Utah, Kansas State could win as well, and UCF, you know, I think could win as well. So I think it's a wide open conference, man. It's really exciting because it's not like a conference that's top heavy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a conference
balanced.
It's really balanced now, right? You don't have to upset Oklahoma, then just get thrashed by Texas the next week, you know. So now you got a chance to just really, you know, ball out, man, like wide open. So anxious to see who's gonna be the big team in here, man, because this is still a good conference, man. A lot of good teams. So, but we'll get into our last segment, man. We just kind of talk about some stuff, man. But I seen on Twitter, man. I was looking on here, man. So I want to get your thoughts on it's not a wrestling show, but it's a closing argument segment. So we really just talk about anything. I want to get your thoughts on Bobby Lashley potentially leaving WWE, bro. Like that's the news that I'm seeing. That's kind of where it's pointed to, man. So, what you think about that, man? I think Bobby Lashley was awesome.
They're not really using him. I mean, if you're not keeping him there to do the Hurt business, you're not really using him. So let him go. I don't know if he wants to pursue things elsewhere, but if he really wants to still make some noise, he can go back to his old stomping grounds. He can go back to TNA. TNA's got something nice going right now. They made a mistake in who they put with the World Heavyweight Championship last night. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I'm scared to say his name. He's going to appear. But
Joe Hendry.
Oh no!
Where you go? Where you go? Where you go, man?
But
Nah, man,
I would
I like it.
I would really like to see him. I think that would give them some validity and really give them a lot more exposure, even if it was just like limited TV shows, limited trips. I think it would really help, especially some of those younger guys. I would subscribe to seeing that. They need another big name guy that could really put them back on the map. I would really like. I don't see him going to AEW. I feel like if he leaves and goes back to wrestling, I feel like he probably goes to TNA, which is what I would really like to see.
I can actually see him going to AEW, man. I could see him doing that because he already did TNA, and TNA was in a better spot when he was there than he is right now, right? And then the fact that TNA is doing business with WWE, probably don't want to go back to doing business with them, right? And I think he could be in AEW, man, simply because they need a guy like him. They need a big heel or a big, yeah, they need a big heel that can destroy a baby face right now. Like they're missing that. Like everybody they got right now is like, a normal size wrestler. Nobody really, they don't have a big heel, man. And I really felt like Powerhouse Hobbs at the time was kind of trending in that direction, but he's got to work on his charisma. Now he's out with an injury, but I felt like he was trending in that direction, but you need some charisma as well. And I felt like Bobby Lashley going to AEW would be that heel. He can play that heel role, right? Now I don't know if he can play the heel role because everybody loves Bobby Lashley, bro. Like they tried to make the Street Profits and him a heel faction, and that didn't work at all. They love Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. So I really want to see him kind of be that heel. Hopefully they let him do that. But I think AEW definitely is missing. They definitely missing a heel, big guy. So I can see him going to AEW. I like. I don't like. I like Bobby Lashley going anywhere. I don't care. Show up on the independent scene, man. I want to see all the clips of Bobby Lashley because he just a really cool guy, man. So, but that's the show, man. Broke down the SEC, ACC, the Big 10, and the Big 12. So those are the Big Four conferences because I think we can make a YouTube post in the community and talk about the Pac-12 because it's only two teams. So the next breakdown will probably be one of the group of five conferences. So we could talk about that later. But it'll probably be one of those. And then we'll get into the NFL, man. But it should be real fun, man. Real fun with everything coming up. Football season, college football is 33 days away, 32 days, depending on what side of the coast you're on. And we're excited, man. We're excited about being a part of college football dogs, man. We're excited about doing this podcast, man, every Sunday. It really works with our schedule, man, and we get some really good feedback, man. We really appreciate all of the viewership we've gotten. Like I said, we're closing in on 500,000 views across YouTube, man. So I want to say we're almost past 1 million views everywhere if you combine everything, man. So we're excited, man. Started this a year ago, so we're excited, man. We're excited, man. So anything you gotta say before we get up out of here, bro?
Yeah, so we're gonna do group of five, and then we're gonna have a video like we did last year with predictions. Maybe do a playoff bracket. If we don't do a playoff bracket, at least have a synopsis of the teams that we feel like are gonna be in the playoffs, and maybe a breakdown of who we think are gonna win some of the individual awards, and who do we feel like
Yeah,
are the best
yeah,
contenders to be in that final dance for the national championship game.
yeah,
And once we get through with that, man, it's NFL, and when it's NFL, it's gonna be even crazier, bro. Each division, each conference, playoff predictions, Super Bowl, all of that good stuff here, man. But thank you for all the people who have been watching. It's been a crazy journey. Like you said, almost 500,000 views on one platform. X has been crazy. Twitter's been really good. Spotify's been really good. We're growing, but I know as soon as the season hits, all you guys are going to be looking for somewhere to watch content. Check us out. It's different than anybody else in the market. No disrespect to any of the other podcasts as a part of Dogs TV. Bunch of really good guys as well. Check them out. But we are different. We are built different. We've been built different since the start. And we're going straight to the moon, man. So if you want a place where you can get good breakdowns, great storylines, great opinions, discussions, we are the place to be. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment. Subscribe. If you're already subscribed, man, hit that little bell notification so you'll never miss any of our videos, any content there. Like I said before, if you like listening on the go, check us out on all audio platforms across the internet, whether it be Spotify, Amazon, Apple. If you like some of the gaming content, we stream and stuff on Twitch as well. Definitely check us out on there. We're on Rumble. For you guys people on Rumble, we just joined them recently. Thanks to Cam. Give him a little round of applause for that. So definitely want to spread ourselves to each and every social media platforms where you guys can always catch some of our content. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, next week will be Group of 5, and maybe the week after we'll get into predictions for playoffs and stuff like that. But strap up, man. It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, man. So expect to see a lot, man. A lot of good content, man. So, but Cam, that's Brandon. This is the Football Firm of Mind podcast. Signing off.
Peace.